Vikram, hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you for accepting the offer to play today on a coaching session that we both co-created during the Project Kairos with Rich Litvin.
Yes, thank you, Martin. Calling you from DC and you're in Germany, so I love the international play we're doing here.
Yeah, and I remember when you were there, say, hey, I'd like to create a podcast, and I volunteered to raise my hand. And so this is part of this idea of co-creating a coaching session. You coached me the other time, now let me coach you. And I like to start with the slowing down, like to start with the centering, with a short meditation. So I invite you to get to the comfortable spot, the one that allows you easily to drop into yourself, easily to drop into your being, and get your awareness inside of you, the place that calls for now, calls for your awareness to be present. And breathe in and out. So the three steps of every meditation: the awareness, the breathing in, holding the breath, which creates a short focus, and then exhaling again, causing an expansion. And as you're a practitioner of meditation, I just invite you to do 5-6 deep breaths in your personal preference that increases your presence, your awareness, and your grounding. Feel well grounded and let go of everything you don't need right now, you don't need for the next 45 minutes. And get your awareness into your heart space. And feel that your awareness from your heart is also allowing you to be connected to your full body, your physical body, your energetic body. And just let the awareness sense through your various bodies and see they're calibrated. Are they aligned? Are they in sync? And let them be in sync. Let your energy body be very present. You might as well invite also your spiritual realm to be present, so that your full being is present. And invite the energy to take up a little bit more presence. And feel this calmness within yourself. And at your own time, what is emerging? What is something that you want to explore in our coaching today? What comes up? What is in your awareness and is calling for a reflection? And once this is clear, I invite you to share it with me.
That was nice. I like that.
So what is coming up? What is what's coming? What's surfacing? What do you want to play with today?
I think it's my relationship with my mom and dad.
Okay, what came up there? What was the
Obviously, I love them dearly. I really want the best for them, but it's sometimes we butt heads. We have different opinions. I feel like, some of the past, like I have to, whatever grievances either side has had, you feel like you definitely want to forgive. Intellectually, forgiveness is there, but maybe emotionally it's not there still.
Okay. So if you from the energy body, which energy body is calling the attention? Where do you lean into? What do you want to sense and call out?
I'm not clear. Say it again, Martin.
Is there something you sense in your body? Is there something that you can sense, that emotion in your heart? Or is that where is that?
Probably a heart. Like I don't have that deep connection that I want to, with them.
Share an experience. Show me a story that comes up there that shows that energy.
Like, yeah, they're visiting here, this week, and I'm a little bit not stern with them, but I'm a little bit more, focused, professional versus kind, loving, and joyful. And I visited them in Atlanta, but this is the first time they've visited here in 2 years because of the COVID. And I guess I have my guard up, or just it's like, and it's mom is different than dad. Mom, I'm just trying to, she always has like what's wrong with life kind of viewpoint, and then dad is more like almost judging and questioning, and like living up to quote unquote his expectations, or like always examining what and making comments, and like, but I know that's who he is and that's his natural state. So I think the highest and best version of me should be just in general forgiving and playful, and then in one ear out the other, and don't make these kind of, you can't change others, but you can definitely change yourself and how you, in your lens and your perspective. And so I think not taking it too seriously, because I've known people who've lost their parents recently, and then obviously the other side, regret comes. Oh, I wish I was this. I wish should have been nicer, kinder, gentler. So I understand all aspects of it. I still find myself difficult to get to where I like to be emotionally.
Mm-hmm. So when you speak, I can sense you're sharing it from intellectually. That is something that you grasp. So where's the challenge for you? What is the thing that is the unknown territory?
No, I mean, it's just navigating these emotions to a point where I can create more fulfillment and happiness, and then come in with more of a selfless, unconditional love versus judgmental expectations of someone who may not have that capability. And it's more just giving them what they deserve versus what I expect from them.
Let's play with it a little bit. How do you realize that voice of judgment? How does it present?
No, I mean, it's an inner voice that like, I think it just have to, there's people that are strong-willed are very similar to me. I'm pretty strong-willed, and I definitely have opinions, but I feel like I'm definitely open to other people's thoughts and opinions, and open-minded. But people who are very strong-willed and opinionated in general, I already have a sense that it's very difficult for me to work with them, and I've seen that in different aspects of my life, even including coaching clients. So it's just in general not a good fit for me. But you can choose your clients. You love your family.
Okay, there's something in there. Let me just play a little bit what I sense there. There's something. I see there a very strong person. You as Vikram, you are a very strong person with a clear mind. And there's an edge to also creating the world according to your structure. Is that so?
Yep.
So where did you pick that up from? From whom did you take that? From whom did you copy that?
The people who I admire in life are people who know what they want, go after it, produce a plan, execute. And then as I've grown, I've also liked the people who are enjoying the path along that process versus clenching their teeth and doing it. So now I'm like, I want, and that's what I've manifested that in my life where, I've created almost an ideal zone of what I'm doing. Like I'm in my zone of genius in 3 different fields, which is what I love doing. I love health, wealth, and mindset. And I've created 3 companies
All right.
that are helping people do that.
Let me take something that I play with. I like to play with. Are you familiar with the 4 archetypes? That and as you're saying, you're playing out of your zone of genius, and I'll see if we can play from there. I like to draw in the 4 different archetypes, and you might be familiar with them. There is the loving person, the lover, or there's the harlequin, the person that's life-taking with a grain of salt and joyfulness and playfulness, very present. And there's the role of the knight, the king, and the knight, the warrior, yeah? The warrior that uses a sword to create the world. Yeah, and sometimes that requires destruction, forcing something to be dismantled, destructed, and then rebuild, recreated. It's a very manual, it's a very present, with a forming energy in there, creating energy. The third role is the king. The king comes from the decision-making perspective, going for the right way. Hey, this is where I want to go. This is a yes, and this is a no. It's a decision-making, a sovereign, a ruler. Yeah, the king or the queen come from that majestic energy. And the fourth role is the magician, the sage, the magician, that comes from a very...
Is I'm sorry, the lover is also a harlequin?
Yeah, the lover is the harlequin. Yeah, okay. It could be the inner child to some extent. Yeah, it's coming with a very present at heart, very emerged. Now I want to play, I want to joy. Yeah, like children, when they want to play, they play now. They don't think about tomorrow, and they don't think about money. They don't think about how the world. They want to experience now. And the fourth role is the sage, the wisdom, the magician. The magician that comes from a place of wandering, waiting for the right moment, opportune moment. And they're very interested in the growth of the king making good decisions, the evolution of the knight, and the evolution of the lover. So on these 4 archetypes, I sense if you play in your zone of genius, as you are well connected to your archetypes. So which one is very easily accessible for you? Where do you feel?
I think the lovers I need to put more energy in, but everyone else is pretty there.
Yeah. Give me a short example. How do you play your knight or the warrior energy?
I mean, that's all day long. The king is all day. The magician is all day. So I can easily go between all 3 of those. Pretty easy. Just cutting loose and just being playful, childlike. That's less and less I mean, there's periods of time where it's awesome. I love doing that, and then there are times where that's not needed, or I feel like it can interfere with the progress I'm trying to make.
So if you lean into your, let's say, lean into your zone, what is the point that you could draw in some more to make it different, to make it?
Not clear. Can you maybe rephrase the question?
Yeah. You mentioned that for you, the lover, the heart, yeah, is sometimes less present. So let's explore that. What happens? What's the consequence if the lover or the playfulness is not as present?
You're not enjoying life. It's the science of achievement, the less maybe the art of fulfillment, or you're maybe not as grateful, or maybe you're just not having fun, you know, or maybe you're doing things for other people, but then you are not giving a lighter version of yourself to other people. And so it's all disciplinary, it's all strict, it's all rules versus spontaneity, fun, playfulness, potential.
So you're living the life for someone else's rule set? Is to
yeah, I mean, I'm living my defined life. I mean, this is what I chose to do. So I don't think I'm living for other people. Yeah, because I've declared these goals at the beginning of the year, and I'm executing on them.
So, are you familiar with the zone of genius that Gay Hendricks is describing in his Big Leap?
I have that book actually. I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, so there's something that might be very interesting to explore there and see how we play there. The Gay Hendricks describes in his the Big Leap that we're going through this. First, we don't know anything, low competence, then building competence, studying, learning, becoming very competent, excellent. That's all the criteria that we can, by practicing, become better and better and better. And then he says there's
unconscious, the 4 stages of learning, like the unconscious competence, conscious all that you're referring to.
Yeah, okay. And then you have the competence, and then you get to the zone of excellence. Yeah, if you do it many hours. So as a doctor, you have practiced many hours, so you get into an excellence. So even if you get a call at night, you know what to do. Yeah.
Right.
So that's an excellence, and you can fine tune and improve the excellence by external criteria. There's all kinds of rules that you can check. Hey, if I do that more and more and more, I get better and better and better. And then what he says, the zone of genius is different. The zone of genius is where you leap into, where it's only you that, and your business, the way you create, shows that exactly that combination of business that you created, it's only Vikram that can create it. Yeah, because you have that unique combination of having your background, being brought up in a certain way, having learned certain things, so that you can play in your created zone and play from the zone of genius. And in order to play there, it's an invitation to use and draw out these archetype energies even further. And let me call out why. Gay Hendricks describes that there's a gap between the zone of excellence and the zone of genius. And you have to jump. There's a jump that requires courage, because you could jump and fail. There's a good likelihood of stumbling. You look likelihood of not succeeding as you did before, while jumping in your zone of genius. And he calls it 3 criteria, that the 3 P's: the penalty, the protection, and the prevention. So penalty is, hey, I'm not allowed to be that successful. I need to play small. The way Rich always says, hey, whoever stuck out the head in the previous times got the head chopped off and wasn't able to give on his genes. Yeah. So there's a way of playing smaller, and Gay Hendricks calls it the upper limit switch. So the way you play, for me, it sounds that you don't really give so much about what other people think. You create it the way you believe the right way is fun for you to create. So nonetheless, I'd like to explore with you on that. How does the upper limit switch or the penalty, the prevention or the protection from playing into your zone of genius show in your case? How does it present?
I don't care about the penalties. I'm not looking for protection, and I'm not really trying to prevent anything. I'm trying to create things.
Okay, let's slow down a little bit. So you don't care of penalty. Why? What is your?
I feel I'm at a point where I usually take asymmetric risk reward. So the areas I'm venturing into are 8 out of 10 times I'm going to win.
Mm-hmm.
2 out of 10 I'll lose, but the losses are a lot less than my wins. So I'll play this game all day long.
So on the level of financial, on the level of risk reward, there's no penalty there. So where's a potential price? Where's a potential price on another level that you might take a penalty on?
Penalties on maybe overworking, maybe it's, like I'm creating this sort of lifestyle freedom, which is I feel like I'm maybe 12 months away from like ideal lifestyle, where working maybe 3 days a week, team is running without me. Like, I've had just a few, select clients, the rest is one to many, three streams of income plus all my passive investments. So like my health is pretty much top notch. I'm doing 4 or 5 trips a year, and I'm spending time with my family, and I'm spiritually connected, and I'm doing my charity. If I can get there, I mean, I essentially have created my ideal life, and I feel like I'm close to that, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. When you look in these zones, which is the zone that is, this is a little bit soft spot?
Yeah, the zone you're talking about, zone of exercise, zone of excellence and genius, or you're talking about before?
As you said,
archetypes.
Let me rephrase. The energy that I sense when you speak about your business, there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of, there's something about your working very hard against your boundaries. So they're maybe cutting off from your energy.
I think it's really just, I think I can be a better father. I can definitely connect with my kids in a deeper way. I can really be more present with my wife. I think that would be helpful for me as more of a, I don't know, there's no such thing as real balance, but it's counterbalance that I want to have to the success in the career.
So let's exaggerate. If you don't take care on that point, what could happen as a consequence, as a second order consequence?
I don't think anything will fall apart. I think it'll be mediocre. And for me, mediocre is worse than falling apart, because I don't tolerate mediocrity.
Okay, so there's a harshness to it. There's a hard expectation. So what is the, if you take the archetype energies, which archetype energy is low?
Again, we talked about the heart, the lover,
the lover, the heart. So if you lean into that heart space, how would that show? How in 2 years from now, and we meet again, how would I sense that the lover is present, or the playfulness, the harlequin?
I'm already creating magical experiences for my family, but it's more like episodic versus daily magic. Right, I'm creating we have tickets to a very difficult to get basketball game where I'm taking my whole family, and it's going to be an amazing experience. I've taken my wife to 2 comedy shows, and we really enjoyed the evening. We're flying to Hawaii in 2 weeks. We're traveling to different places, so that's all beautiful. But it's the daily, joke, waking up, smiling, cracking jokes, and having fun with my family in the morning. Breakfast, also turning off at a certain part of the day, and then just surprising, doing fun things, the simple things, simple pleasures that the family would love to have me, join, and just being more present, available, fun, and light, being more light versus serious. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, and let's play with it. So the seriousness of the ruler, the king, that's probably something that's very easy for you to access to. There's authority to it. Yeah. So inviting the lightness, the heartfulness, the joy that's connected with the playfulness of the. So how would that show in your day-to-day life in a very little surprise to you? How would you be surprised about yourself?
I think like just being, having fun, being joyful, playing, built, my kid was asking me to build Legos with him. It's just really sitting down and like zoning everything out, being playful, playing with him. It's just doing the fun things that, I guess in one word, it's being childlike.
So allowing your inner child to come out, being childlike.
Yeah. I think if I just did that, all would be well.
So how would let's play some other area. How would your father, observing you, what would he recognize within you?
No, I'm sure, because he loves playing with the grandkids, because they're childlike, so it's like me and him are more serious together. Well, that's great, but like, maybe it's time to go back to more simple things.
Give an example, example experience. How would you sense there's this simplicity, this joyfulness, this easy presence?
Just, I think less talk about, because that's all he likes to talk about, but like, talk about other things beyond, business, and just talk about life,
So what would life, exactly.
The thing is like we were until this, because we were in business together briefly, and now that it's moved, we've sort of, through some struggle, we've moved on now, and we've separated and done our own things. But just because I used to, sort of use him as more of like a sounding board, as a friend, it was nice. But I think going back to that, just say, hey, now that all that's behind us, is just go back to what, the original father and son, guidance, mentorship, fun, doing some fun experiences together, traveling, maybe doing that kind of stuff.
Which has that quality of the loving joyfulness, playfulness to it. Yeah. The way you describe your father, you have a lot of energy in these, respect, authority, wisdom, knowledge. So what is there's an invitation to play from the other side, play from the joyful. How would you experience that in a body? What would be a shift in your body that you could realize, hey, that's exactly the feeling from which I can create this?
I guess up here, the head, and maybe the heart, face too. Like, so not so serious, but like, like smile, breathe, be light.
Yeah. So how Rich calls it to the writer. Yeah? You put the writer on the side or in the sentence when you creating also with the writer of playfulness or joyfulness. Yeah. Let me share my own experience on that one. I put in I work with a Big Five for Life, John Strzelecki, and I put in joyful co-creation. That's something that for me is very important. When I do certain things, can I do them together with someone else like we do right now? It's a co-creation. I couldn't do it for myself, but together it creates something. I can be fully me, it's my authentic being, and there's joy, playfulness. And that's, as long as I play this, for me, that's an indicator when I'm in my zone of genius. There's joyfulness, there's co-creativity, and there's playfulness. And when it becomes too heavy, too much discipline, too head-spaced, how can it be playful? How can I make it joyful? Yeah? And that's for me, this little reminder is, how can I be creative in this moment? How can I do it in a way that's playful? How can I be invite the playfulness or even the cheekiness, sometimes even the weirdness around it? Yeah?
I like that word, cheeky.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's like I feel like the little naughty boy that is trying. Can I get away with this? Yeah. And right now, as a sense, when I speak that out, my energy goes up. I sense that it creates a lightness for me. Say, hey, wow, wonderful. Yeah. Give me an example where you had exactly that, the energy that you were describing experienced.
I mean, even last week, I was really like, every morning I was just cracking jokes with my boys, teasing them, making fun of them, but, having fun with them. And it's fun, making breakfast, encouraging them, motivating them, just really being engaged with them it's really cool. Help my son, get selected for a basketball team. And, it was a big thing. And then when he got in, I found out early and I was traveling, but I sent a personal video message to him and my wife, telling him how proud I am, how much we love him. Good job, well done. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like just remembering to be all the roles instead of just some of the roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the thing that moves you when you see your boys? Where's your father's heart to expand?
When they're learning, working hard, just becoming better versions of themselves. When they're having fun, when they're playing around, they're good boys. So it's just good to see them in all their different elements. And then it just reminds me of, good childhood. And then, I think they don't seem to take things for granted. And so, I think they seem appreciative. And so, I love doing things for them. And just, giving them opportunities, giving them fun ideas, giving them things. They're like a sponge. They like to learn. So it's like, showing them new stuff. And just spending time with them because, I learn from them as much as they learn from me, probably.
Yeah. I was about to draw this. I sense there is also, you can be their teacher, but in some way they're also from a spiritual perspective, from a soul perspective, I see my children as my teachers. There's so much I can learn. There's so much that remind me that, they spark within myself that, do I really have to judge my son now? Or is there a way that I can accept the way that he is right now and accept this to be his path of the way he chooses to create his life? My son is 21, 19 and 10. And it's always a challenge for me to let my son create his path. Very often there's a father, hey, I would like to give advice, but it's also the invitation. It's a way of acceptance and be there, be present, be open-hearted, and just acknowledge that his way of creating the world might be different than mine. And still being in that connection. For me, that sometimes there's a mind level disconnect. And then from the heart, I can invite myself to be connected. and create that space from the heart to hold the heart space. And this is where I love your sons are what age?
8 and 10.
Yeah, 8 and 10. So this is where I'm not sure. Mine is extremely cuddly. He wants to have contact. He wants to fight and roll over the floor and hug, and so cute. And that warms my heart. Yeah, having my son there and say, hey, come, let's give you a big hug. And that's just being. For me, I can really experience that energy of joyfulness, being, and presence. Yeah. So how's you opened this whole thing with, hey, maybe my parent, my father. What is an insight or something that, from an energy perspective, that comes up towards your father?
I think it's just, everyone's doing the best they can. So just, play at a higher level.
Yeah.
Have like what is it like? Is it an ant, an earthworm, or ladybug? It was like, have a very short memory. Right? Just don't have to think about too much of the past. Just, hey, there he is. Just, hey, how are you? Just be light. Don't worry about what the past. Don't worry about the future. Enjoy the present with them.
Yeah, and this is again, that's the way you describe the playfulness, the harlequin, the lover, very present in the moment, wants to play now, wants to. It's a Kairos. Interesting. These two, the lover and the magician, they are in the Kairos space. While the lover comes from the moment now. I want to play now. I don't care about tomorrow. The magician comes from I'm present for the right moment to be there. While the knight and the king are coming from the chronos space. They use the clock time to create their world. And the way you describe your father is this, hey, there's the invitation. There you're very strong. That's where you have mastered. You're probably even competing on the mastery level there. And the invitation is to play on that level. Yeah. Come with a playful idea, an invitation, like a playful idea that gets your father into his heart space.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's an invitation. Play with it. Yeah. Do you want to wrap it for today's session? Is there something that you want to acknowledge, wrap it in as an insight for you?
No, I like the 4 archetypes. I haven't heard of that before, so I like that. That's nice. And then the meditation at the beginning was pretty good because it's nice to center, and interesting what came up, at the end of that was the right point to discuss. And a lot of reflection.
And leveling on that one, what I see in you is I can sense this cheekiness, there is the smartness to use your heart with a grain of salt, with a grain of joy, and come from this joyful space and say, hey, how can I bend the rules from this place? Not in the sense of damaging the other, but to say, how far can I go? How far can I use these to an advantage place? A co-creative advantage place without damaging the other, creating something higher for the benefit of everyone involved.
Yeah, I think, it's also learning to take off the coaching or the instructive hat when you're with your family and just be a friend. Coach.
Be father, be there, be present, be a big hug.
Versus like, hey, why don't you do this, how can you do this, improve this, work on this,
Yeah,
You know,
it's yeah. The being space, being in the being space and holding it, holding there. Yeah. Well, thanks, Vikram, for being open. Thanks for playing with me. Thanks
yeah,
for
that
leaning
was
in
powerful.
and
That was
being
good.
joyful. Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Very good. I really enjoyed it.